We are relentlessly told to seek constant positivity, a shimmering, unending joy. Does fear, that primal instinct, offer us crucial warnings and sharpen our focus? Perhaps the real question isn't how to be happy all the time, but how to live fully and authentically, embracing the entire spectrum of human emotion as a vital part of our shared, beautiful, and complex existence. What if our capacity for sorrow is precisely what makes our joy so exquisitely profound? Anxiety, the tremor of anticipation, might it signal what truly matters to us? The pursuit of good vibes only often leads to emotional suppression, a hidden toll. When we numb ourselves to pain, do we also dull our capacity for genuine joy? Philosophers throughout history have grappled with the spectrum of human experience. Nietzsche urged an embrace of life's totality, its suffering alongside its beauty. Buddhist teachings recognize suffering, dukkha, as a fundamental aspect of existence, not as a curse to be avoided, but a truth to be understood and transcended. The capacity to feel deeply, across the entire emotional range, is a human strength. Resilience is not built on a foundation of perpetual smiles, but on navigating storms. But what if this relentless pursuit of good vibes only is a gilded cage? Our shadows are not enemies, but integral parts of our complete, authentic selves. Emotional intelligence blossoms when we learn to listen to all our inner signals. The pressure to be always on, always happy, can lead to profound alienation. Denying difficult emotions doesn't make them disappear, it merely buries them. And buried feelings often fester, re-emerging with unexpected, unmanaged force. True emotional agility involves acknowledging, processing, and learning from all feelings. Consider the artist, the poet, the musician. Creativity often springs from deep emotional wells. The full spectrum of human emotion fuels art that moves us, that reflects our shared humanity. Without the contrast of shadow, light itself would lose much of its perceived brilliance. Similarly, joy gains its profound sweetness when contrasted with moments of sorrow or struggle. A fragile facade, demanding we suppress the very shadows that give life depth. The tyranny of positivity can make us feel inadequate for experiencing normal human pain. This relentless pressure invalidates genuine suffering, hindering true empathy and connection. Authenticity requires us to honor our emotional truth, whatever its shade or color. Embracing our vulnerabilities is not weakness, but a gateway to profound strength. It fosters deeper connections with others when we share our imperfect, real selves. Our negative emotions are data, rich with information about our needs and boundaries. Ignoring these signals is like driving a car while ignoring the dashboard warning lights. Wisdom lies not in the absence of negativity, but in our skillful response to it. It's about integrating the full mosaic of experience into a more complete human life. This understanding opens pathways to a resilience that good vibes only can never offer. Could our discomfort, our sorrow, our anger be essential guiding whispers? Join us as we delve deeper into the essential, often misunderstood, role of negative emotions. The relentless pursuit of happiness as a singular, constant state is a relatively modern construct, often at odds with centuries of philosophical wisdom. Ancient thinkers and diverse cultures understood that life inherently involves a spectrum of experiences, including suffering and hardship, which are not merely obstacles but crucibles for growth and understanding. They saw wisdom in navigating these difficult currents, not in pretending they don't exist. Consider the Stoic philosophers like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius. They didn't advocate for the suppression of emotion, but for its understanding and a rational response. For them, tranquility or ataraxia was achieved not by avoiding life's pains, but by cultivating an inner resilience, accepting what cannot be changed, and focusing on virtuous action regardless of external circumstances. Negative experiences were tests of character, opportunities to practice wisdom and fortitude. Friedrich Nietzsche famously stated, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." This wasn't a glib aphorism, but a profound observation on the transformative power of adversity. He believed that to truly affirm life, one must embrace all of it, the joy and the suffering, the creation and the destruction. He critiqued what he saw as a life-denying tendency to seek only comfort and avoid all pain, arguing this led to a shallower existence. In Buddhist philosophy, the first noble truth is dukkha, often translated as suffering, dissatisfaction, or stress. This isn't a pessimistic declaration that life is only pain, but a realistic assessment that imperfection, impermanence, and the clinging to desires inevitably lead to such experiences. The path to liberation, nirvana, involves understanding the nature of dukkha, its causes, and how to cease it, not by avoiding unpleasantness, but by transforming one's relationship to it. Sadness, for instance, is often pathologized in modern culture, viewed as a malfunction to be quickly medicated or fixed. Yet, sadness serves crucial functions. It signals loss, prompting us to reflect and reevaluate. It can foster empathy and connection when shared, as we recognize common human vulnerability. Furthermore, experiencing sadness allows for a deeper appreciation of joy. The contrast makes happiness more poignant and meaningful. Anger, too, carries vital information. While uncontrolled rage is destructive, righteous anger can be a powerful motivator for justice and positive change. It signals that a boundary has been crossed, a value violated, or an injustice committed. Suppressing anger entirely can lead to passivity in the face of wrongdoing or internalize the emotion in harmful ways. Learning to channel anger constructively is a mark of emotional maturity. Fear and anxiety are primal survival mechanisms. Fear alerts us to immediate danger, prompting fight, flight, or freeze responses essential for protection. Anxiety, often about future uncertainties, can motivate us to prepare, plan, and address potential problems. While chronic anxiety is debilitating, a healthy dose of apprehension can sharpen focus and highlight what we deem important enough to worry about, pushing us towards proactive behavior. The modern wellness industry often promotes toxic positivity, the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. This culture can invalidate genuine feelings of distress, making individuals feel ashamed or inadequate for experiencing normal human emotions. It encourages suppression rather than processing, which can ultimately harm mental health and prevent authentic connection. True emotional resilience is not about avoiding negative feelings, but about developing the capacity to experience them, learn from them, and return to a state of equilibrium. It's like a tree that bends in the storm but doesn't break, its roots growing stronger with each challenge. This resilience is built through exposure and mindful navigation of difficulties, not by residing in a perpetual, unchanging calm. Perhaps true contentment isn't found in avoiding darkness, but understanding its purpose. Psychologist Susan David speaks of emotional agility, the ability to approach our inner thoughts and feelings with curiosity, compassion, and courage. This involves acknowledging difficult emotions without judgment, understanding their messages, and then choosing actions aligned with our core values, rather than being dictated by fleeting emotional states or societal pressure to be constantly happy. When we deny or suppress parts of our emotional experience, we create an internal division. Authenticity, living in accordance with our true selves, requires embracing the totality of our being, the light and the shadow. This integration leads to a more robust sense of self, one that is not easily shattered by life's inevitable challenges because it is grounded in reality, not illusion. Consider the creative process. Many great works of art, literature, and music have sprung from profound experiences of sorrow, longing, anger, or existential angst. These emotions, when channeled, can fuel incredible creativity and insight, allowing artists to articulate universal human experiences that resonate deeply with others. To deny these feelings would be to silence some of humanity's most profound expressions. Furthermore, shared vulnerability, including the expression of negative emotions, is often the bedrock of deep human connection. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect and acknowledge our struggles, it creates a space for others to do the same. This mutual recognition of shared humanity fosters empathy, trust, and intimacy far more effectively than a pretense of constant, unassailable cheerfulness. The concept of post-traumatic growth demonstrates that profound positive change can emerge from highly challenging adverse experiences. Individuals who navigate trauma, rather than merely returning to their previous baseline, can develop increased resilience, a greater appreciation for life, deeper relationships, new possibilities, and spiritual growth. This growth is often predicated on confronting and processing intense negative emotions. Even boredom, an often maligned state, can be a precursor to creativity and self-reflection. In a world saturated with constant stimulation, allowing oneself to feel bored can open up mental space for new ideas to emerge, for introspection, and for a reevaluation of what truly engages and interests us. It's an uncomfortable pause that can lead to productive restlessness. The cultural narrative that equates success and well-being solely with happiness is misleading. A meaningful life is often characterized by purpose, contribution, and growth, all of which can involve navigating significant challenges and experiencing a wide range of emotions. Seeking meaning rather than just fleeting pleasure can provide a more robust and sustainable form of fulfillment. Discomfort can be a powerful teacher. When we feel uneasy, anxious, or dissatisfied, these feelings can be valuable signals that something in our lives needs attention or change. Perhaps a misaligned value, an unhealthy relationship, or an unfulfilled aspiration. Ignoring these signals in pursuit of superficial positivity means missing crucial opportunities for personal development. Learning to self-soothe and regulate difficult emotions, rather than suppress or be overwhelmed by them, is a key life skill. This doesn't mean eliminating the emotion, but developing healthy coping mechanisms, emotional literacy, and the ability to sit with discomfort without immediate flight. This is where true emotional strength is forged. The Japanese concept of man no aware offers a different perspective, a gentle sadness or wistfulness at the transience of things, an awareness of impermanence that also heightens appreciation for beauty. It's an acceptance of melancholy as an integral part of experiencing the world deeply, not something to be eradicated. This is a far cry from the Western obsession with unadulterated joy. This journey explores the profound necessity of our so-called negative emotions. Consider also the dark night of the soul, a term from mysticism referring to a period of spiritual desolation, confusion, and emptiness. Though intensely painful, this experience is often described as a necessary precursor to profound spiritual insight and a deeper, more authentic connection with the divine or one's true self. It's a purification through suffering. The capacity for empathy, our ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is significantly deepened by our own experiences of pain and sorrow. If we have never known grief, how can we truly comfort someone who is grieving? Our negative emotions are a bridge to understanding the suffering of others, fostering compassion and social cohesion. When we try to shield our children from all forms of discomfort, disappointment, or sadness, we may inadvertently hinder their development of crucial coping skills and resilience. Learning to navigate minor setbacks and manage difficult emotions in childhood with supportive guidance prepares them for the more significant challenges of adult life. A perfectly happy childhood might be a disservice. The pressure for constant positivity can also create unrealistic expectations in relationships. No partnership is free of conflict, disagreement, or moments of frustration. Expecting a relationship to be a source of unending bliss sets it up for failure. Healthy relationships involve navigating differences, repairing ruptures, and accepting the imperfections of both partners and the dynamic itself. Existentialist philosophers like Albert Camus or Jean-Paul Sartre explored themes of absurdity, angst, and the search for meaning in a seemingly indifferent universe. They didn't shy away from the discomfort of these realizations, but saw them as starting points for authentic living, for creating one's own meaning and embracing freedom, even in the face of life's inherent difficulties. The simple act of naming our emotions, "I am feeling sad," "I am feeling angry," can be incredibly powerful. This emotional granularity, the ability to specifically identify and label what we are feeling, is linked to better emotional regulation and psychological well-being. It's the first step to understanding and then choosing how to respond, rather than being swept away by an unnamed tide. Our societal discomfort with grief is particularly telling. We often rush the bereaved, implicitly encouraging them to get over it quickly and return to normal. But grief is not a problem to be solved. It's a natural, albeit painful, process of adapting to significant loss. Allowing space for grief, in all its complex and varied expressions, is essential for healing and honoring what was lost. The pursuit of flow states, characterized by complete absorption in an activity, often arises when tackling challenges that stretch our skills. These states are deeply rewarding, but inherently involve effort and navigating potential frustration before mastery or immersion is achieved. Avoiding all difficulty means missing out on these profound experiences of engagement and competence. Regret, while painful, can be a powerful teacher if approached constructively. It can highlight past mistakes or missed opportunities, offering valuable lessons for future decisions. If we reflect on regret without excessive self-blame, it can motivate us to live more in alignment with our values, make amends where possible, or pursue paths we previously hesitated to take. The feeling of being stuck or frustrated can be a signal that our current approach isn't working, or that we have outgrown a particular situation. This discomfort can be the very impetus needed to seek new knowledge, develop new skills, or make a courageous change in direction, ultimately leading to growth that might not have occurred otherwise. We question the pervasive mandate for perpetual, unwavering happiness. Even envy, if examined honestly, can reveal our unmet desires or aspirations. Instead of letting it fester into resentment, we can ask, what is it about this person's situation or achievement that I admire or desire for myself? This self-reflection can clarify our own goals and motivate us to work towards them, transforming a negative emotion into a constructive force. The narrative of overcoming adversity is powerful precisely because adversity involves struggle and negative emotion. The triumph is meaningful because of the difficulty that preceded it. A life devoid of such challenges, even if hypothetically always happy, would lack these profound narratives of growth, resilience, and earned achievement that give life much of its texture and depth. Compassion literally means to suffer with. Our ability to connect with and support others through their pain is often born from our own familiarity with suffering. Acknowledging our shared vulnerability to difficult emotions is not a weakness, but a profound source of human connection and mutual support, essential for individual and collective well-being. The hedonic treadmill theory in psychology suggests that humans tend to return to a relatively stable level of happiness, despite major positive or negative life events. This implies that chasing constant highs is often futile. A more sustainable approach to well-being might involve cultivating an appreciation for the ordinary, finding meaning in daily life, and building resilience to navigate the lows effectively. In many indigenous cultures, rites of passage often involve facing fears, enduring hardship, or confronting mortality. These challenging experiences are seen as crucial for maturation, for developing character, and for understanding one's place within the community and the cosmos. They embrace difficulty as a teacher, not an enemy to be avoided at all costs. Accepting our negative emotions does not mean wallowing in them or allowing them to dictate our actions destructively. It means acknowledging their presence, listening to their underlying message, and then choosing a wise and values-aligned response. It is the difference between being consumed by the wave and learning to surf it. The fear of failure, often rooted in shame or anxiety, can be paralyzing, preventing us from pursuing our goals or taking creative risks. Embracing the possibility of failure as a learning opportunity and understanding that setbacks are part of any meaningful endeavor can liberate us to act more boldly and authentically. Many successes are built upon a foundation of previous failures. Emotional numbness, a state some might seek to avoid pain, is a high price to pay. It not only dulls sorrow but also mutes joy, passion, and the vibrant colors of human experience. A life lived fully is one that embraces the entire spectrum, understanding that the capacity to feel deeply is a gift, even when those feelings are challenging. The ancient Greek concept of eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living well, is not about fleeting happiness, but about living a life of virtue, purpose, and excellence. This often involves rigorous self-discipline, confronting difficult truths, and engaging with the world in a meaningful way, activities that are not always feel-good in the moment but contribute to a profound sense of a life well lived. Shame, while intensely painful, can also, in small, reflected doses, signal a deviation from our own moral compass or societal norms, prompting corrective action and a desire for reintegration or atonement. However, toxic shame, a pervasive sense of worthlessness, is deeply destructive. The key is discerning constructive self-correction from debilitating self-condemnation. Is it possible that sadness carves the spaces where joy can resonate more deeply? The pressure to constantly perform happiness, especially in the age of social media, can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy and loneliness when our inner reality doesn't match the curated perfection we see online. This performative aspect of positivity distances us from authentic emotional experiences and genuine connection. Disappointment is an inevitable part of life when expectations meet reality. Learning to process disappointment, to acknowledge the feeling, adjust expectations, and find new paths or perspectives is a vital aspect of maturity. Avoiding all potential for disappointment means living a very small, constrained life, shying away from ambition or hope. True contentment is perhaps less about an endless string of pleasurable moments and more about a deep-seated acceptance of life's complexities, an inner peace that can coexist with turmoil, and a sense of gratitude for the whole spectrum of experience, including the lessons learned through hardship. Impatience and frustration can signal an internal or external obstacle that needs addressing. If we meet these feelings with curiosity rather than immediate dismissal, they can point us towards areas where we need to develop more patience, problem-solving skills, or perhaps advocate for change in an inefficient system or situation. The romanticization of struggle in some narratives should not be confused with the glorification of suffering. The value lies not in the pain itself, but in the human capacity to find meaning, strength, and growth through navigating that pain, and in the compassion and wisdom that such navigation can cultivate. Loneliness, though painful, can sometimes create a space for profound self-discovery and a deeper understanding of one's own needs for connection. It can motivate us to seek out more meaningful relationships, rather than settling for superficial interactions, and to appreciate the connections we do have more fully. Burnout often results from prolonged stress and emotional exhaustion, frequently exacerbated by a culture that prizes constant productivity and suppresses signs of struggle. Recognizing the early signs of burnout, often signaled by negative emotions like cynicism, detachment, or chronic fatigue, is crucial for taking corrective action and prioritizing well-being. The richness of human experience is woven from threads of all colors, the bright golds of joy, the deep blues of sorrow, the fiery reds of passion and anger, the verdant greens of growth and peace. To try and live with only one color is to see but a fraction of the magnificent tapestry of life. Healthy skepticism, a form of negative appraisal, is vital for critical thinking and avoiding deception. A society that only values positive affirmation without room for questioning, doubt, or constructive criticism becomes vulnerable to misinformation and poor decision-making. Doubt can be a pathway to deeper truth. Our capacity for grief is a testament to our capacity for love and deep attachment. The pain of loss is proportional to the significance of what was lost. To wish away grief entirely would be to wish away the love that preceded it. Honoring grief is, in part, honoring that love. Can anger, often condemned, be a powerful catalyst for vital, necessary change? The path to a more authentic and resilient form of well-being is not about eliminating negative emotions, but about transforming our relationship with them. It's about cultivating the wisdom to understand their messages, the courage to face them, and the skill to navigate them constructively, integrating them into a fuller, more meaningful human experience. When we allow ourselves to feel what we genuinely feel, without immediate judgment or the need to fix it, we open a space for self-compassion. Treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we might offer a friend in distress is crucial, especially when navigating difficult emotional terrain. This is the antithesis of toxic positivity's dismissal. Consider the profound beauty in art that explores melancholy in music, poetry, or painting. These works don't make us happy in a simplistic sense, but they can make us feel understood, connected, and strangely uplifted by their honest portrayal of complex emotions. They validate the shadowed parts of our experience. The courage to sit with discomfort, to not immediately distract ourselves or seek escape when difficult feelings arise, is a form of strength. In these moments of stillness, we can often hear the deeper needs or truths that these emotions are trying to communicate, leading to more authentic choices and actions. Ultimately, a life rich in meaning and connection is rarely one that is perpetually positive. It is a life that embraces the full spectrum of human experience, acknowledges the lessons within challenges, and cultivates an authentic relationship with oneself and the world, shadows and all. This is a more robust and deeply satisfying path. The good vibes only mantra, while perhaps well-intentioned, often encourages a superficial engagement with life. It prioritizes fleeting pleasure over enduring meaning, appearance over authenticity, and ultimately can leave us less equipped to handle the very real complexities and sorrows that are an inescapable and indeed valuable part of being human. So we find ourselves moving beyond the simple pursuit of constant happiness. True well-being, it seems, is not found in the denial of our shadows, but in the courage to explore their depths, understand their messages, and integrate them into a more complete and authentic self. Our negative emotions are not aberrations, but vital guides. Sadness carves room for joy. Anger can fuel justice. Fear can sharpen focus and protect. Anxiety can signal what truly matters. These are not enemies to be vanquished, but complex allies in the journey of a meaningful life, teaching resilience, empathy, and a deeper appreciation for the light when it returns or is found within. The wisdom of ages, from Stoic resilience to Buddhist acceptance, from Nietzschean affirmation to modern psychology's emotional intelligence, converges on this understanding. A full life embraces all of itself. The richness of experience, the depth of character, and true contentment are often forged in the very fires we are sometimes taught to flee. Therefore, the invitation is not to seek perpetual, unblemished positivity, but to cultivate emotional authenticity and agility, to learn from every shade of our inner world, to build resilience not by avoiding storms but by learning to navigate them, and in doing so, to discover a more profound, robust, and meaningful connection to ourselves and to life itself.